She ignored my birthday all day. Hours later, I found out why.
The story began with a message from Clara saying she was going on a girls' retreat for the weekend. I told her to enjoy herself and send pictures, but she only replied with a short smiley. Something about that smiley felt cold, like she didn't want me involved. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe she just needed a break from routine. The next day was my birthday, and she didn't call, didn't text, didn't even leave a voice note. I waited all morning, checking my phone every few minutes. Eventually, I sent her a message asking if everything was okay. She replied hours later saying she was busy with the girls. It stung more than it should have. Birthdays weren't a huge deal to me, but I expected at least a call from my wife. That night, my friend Noah texted me with something I didn't expect. He said he saw Clara at the airport earlier with a man. I felt my heartbeat slam against my ribs. I asked if he was sure, and he said absolutely. I stared at the wall, trying to understand what was happening. I checked her location, something I hadn't done in months. It showed she wasn't even in the same city she claimed to be. My hands went numb as I scrolled through her social media. She had posted nothing about her trip, not even a single selfie. I called her, but she didn't answer. Later, she sent a message saying she'd talk when she got back. I told her we needed to talk now. She left me on read. The silence hurt more than any argument could. The next day, I received a picture from Noah, a photo of Clara sitting at a beachside bar, laughing with a man's hand around her waist. My chest tightened until breathing felt impossible. I confronted her through text, and she replied with a simple, "It's not what it looks like." It was the oldest lie in the book. I asked her to explain, but she dodged every question. She said I was ruining her trip. I told her she had already ruined my trust. She wrote back saying she needed space and that I was being dramatic. I read that message again and again, disbelief turning into anger. I spent the entire night replaying memories, wondering when things started falling apart. She used to adore me, or at least pretended well. The next morning, she said her return flight was the following evening. I stared at the text for a long time before making a decision. I logged into our shared airline account and canceled her return flight. A few minutes later, she messaged me frantically, asking what happened. I told her I handled it, just like she handled her girls' trip. She sent a barrage of messages calling me insane. I told her I wasn't insane, just done. She called me nonstop until I finally answered. Her voice was frantic, trembling, angry, and scared all at once. She said she only flirted with him because she felt neglected. I asked her if neglect meant lying, sneaking around, and disappearing on my birthday. She went quiet. I told her the marriage was over. She screamed that I couldn't do that to her. I told her she already did it to herself. She begged me to let her come home so we could talk. I told her she could find her own way back, just like she found her own way into someone else's arms. I hung up before she could say more. The next morning, I packed some of her things into boxes. I sent her a message saying the papers were ready for her signature. She called again, crying this time, asking me to reconsider. I felt sadness, but no hesitation. She asked if I ever loved her. I told her I did once, deeply, but love needs honesty to survive. She said she made a mistake. I told her not to confuse a mistake with a choice she repeated. She asked if we could try counseling. I told her she could try counseling on her own. I blocked her before she could send another apology. For the first time in a long time, my heart felt still. Not healed, not whole, but finally free from the weight of her lies. A few days later, Noah visited and asked how I was holding up. I told him I was learning how to breathe again. He said I deserved better, and for once I actually believed him. As I watched the sunset from my porch that evening, I felt a strange peace settle over me. The kind that comes when you finally walk away from what was hurting you. And even though the future was uncertain, it was mine again. And that was more than enough.